Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP episode 482. We are live tonight. It is, Monday, May 23rd. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Paul.
We are three handsome-looking dudes on this screen, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know,
it's
right?
The best.
We look amazing. They've been giving me shit about my display back here. So, or
well,
lack
my
thereof.
beautiful display.
Right,
it's a green screen.
Oh, and then we got Rick here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Lady in red,
So,
she's dancing with me.
there you go.
Only a
Rick
year
finally
late on that.
Yeah. Rick finally got himself some road rage. So
I got tired of waiting for me to randomly find one in the store. I'm like, might as well just get a credit card and buy it.
I never saw that in stores ever.
yeah.
Some people found them.
Yeah, it was out there.
Some people found them.
I actually
Anyway.
saw. I think Target's clearancing some of their figures. That Bumblebee, which one? Buzzworthy Bumblebee. I saw. On clearance,
Cybertron
I think.
one.
The Cybertron one. Yeah.
Yeah. That one's like $8.
Yeah.
My neck of the
Wow,
woods.
that's awesome. I mean, that's a great toy.
I still haven't opened it.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
get
fun.
to it one day.
You should. Yeah, you should check it out. You should cut the tape on it, Rick.
I don't know if that's very exciting.
But instead, you're just
Cut the
gonna
tape on
open
that.
100 troop builders.
Yeah, and I appreciate you listening to instructions and speeding the video up. Instead, it's just 45 minutes of me watching Is It Cake?
I didn't. What did you
And
say that? Because
I'm talking to my daughter. I'm like, don't worry, Casey. The editor is going to do, he's not going to hear us. She's talking to me about life stuff. And I'm like, Casey, I bet number 4 is cake. And in the,
so are you gonna if someone could prove to you that they watched the entire 45 minutes of you opening those figures, are you gonna give them some kind of prize or anything?
I don't know. I mean, I bet you Zeldron watched it. But
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't realize that because I've done that in the past, and this time I just didn't even think about it.
yeah, just me for 45 minutes opening 50 sweeps.
Luke is like, hey, this riveting content. I mean, I can't. It's 45 minutes. I mean, the YouTube algorithm likes longer videos. Let me just make sure the whole thing gets up there.
Oh my god!
It's the same goddamn shot for all 45. The camera doesn't move. It's a fixed camera. It's just focused on the table and my hands and me just opening goddamn sweep after sweep after sweep. I threw a couple Cyclonus in there just for a little, flavor. And then I set them all up, and at the end, I just domino them, and they all just fall down.
Well, you gotta see it then. Gotta watch it.
Yeah,
lucky viewers.
How is this not part of the buzzworthy Bumblebee line? Seriously.
Right?
I don't know. I thought it was gonna be originally, but it's not.
Yeah. Walmart
It's the
put
wall-worthy,
up the big bucks, right?
The wall-worthy wiggle worm line.
Yep. Yeah, I don't necessarily know that when Hasbro's doling out the figures for the exclusives that they really care that much. I don't know.
They used to. At least it was all very thought out when I was there. But now it just seems like, I don't know, pick 3. Great. Soundwave? Great. No one's going to care. Just do it. Oh, thrust and ramjet. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, Thundercracker, Skywarp, do it.
Do it live.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, and like people are pissed off about like some of those exclusives, a couple of the Coneheads. People still complain that they couldn't get their hands on them. So,
Yeah, I'm still missing that stupid War for Cybertron Skywarp because I'm just like, no, wait till it's more on sale. And then it was gone.
Oh,
ooh,
That's okay.
yeah.
That's okay. I got other things.
you done goofed.
Yeah, I'm sure one day you could pick it up at a show, at a garage sale, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah, one day I'll get it. I'm not worried about it. It all comes around. People get, a better version will come out in 5 years, 10 years, and they'll be like, screw you. Amazon exclusive. And
You just never know what you'll find at a garage sale.
you never know.
True.
You never know.
But yeah, so, we've had all of these new leaks happen, news, all this kind of stuff. But we decided instead of doing that, we would talk about a figure that was leaked a couple weeks ago. I guess it was at this point.
There were
Said,
there were new
Boulder
leaks.
Dash, that is a lie. That is a filthy lie. And what figure is that, Lucas?
Well, it's the Lego Prime. No, there's no new leaks, I guess. It's just the new, Wave 2, I guess, has been making the rounds on, YouTube or whatever.
Oh, well,
Wait,
then
there's gonna be another Lego. Is it Bumblebee?
I
no.
don't think so. Anyway.
No, the leaks that have been going around are the Walmart Velocity.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it was so long ago. It was like 6 days ago. It's hard to remember. It's ancient
hard
history.
To keep up. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff. So
shit! Wow, I just noticed that Night Prowler is an Autobot.
Yep.
And he's got a little Autobot symbol on his crest.
That's no Maximal.
Yeah, wow. I'm surprised. Anyway.
How could they? So,
it's
yeah. I guess, Anna was, wondering if any of us would actually get those figures. And,
They came.
yeah, pretty much.
They came
We're all
completely
getting them.
mangled and destroyed. If you found the secret link on Walmart that gives you a random assortment of whatever you buy,
Oh, really?
yeah, they come. It's so messed up. It's like a listing for the assortment versus the individual items, and they're sending those out early, and it's all damaged stock, and they put this giant nasty label over the barcode with the barcode of the assortment instead of the barcode of the product. I'm talking. This is for the Beast Wars, the figures that Rick just held up, but they're also finding them in stores too.
Yeah, I was
found
gonna say
these
I found
in
mine in
Walmart.
store.
Yeah, I've been finding. Yeah, I've a couple different Walmarts had them in my area,
La-ti-da.
and we have
But
bad
yeah.
distribution out here, so I was happy to get them.
But yeah,
Anyway,
tonight we were talking about Creo Transformers, right? Those are the only building block Transformers that we have, right? Because Hasbro does not work with Lego.
so why does Hasbro not work with Lego?
They're a
I don't know,
filthy
Rick.
competitor.
You tell me, Rick.
All right, so Lego. I mean, this was a point of contention when I was at Hasbro. So we were trying to get Creo off the ground, and I think the reason why we pushed so hard to get Creo off the ground was because of Star Wars. Hasbro had put several $1 million into a buildable Star Wars vehicle line where you can take the vehicles apart, reassemble them, and you can put the X-Wing wings on the TIE Fighter with the Falcon disc and a Death Star gun on it. You can mix and match. It was a pretty neat line. It was aimed for a younger audience. But Lego came around and said, nope, that's a construction toy. We have the exclusive rights to Lucasfilm. And all that stuff that was tooled up, ready to go, that millions of dollars had been invested into it, just disappeared. It just disappeared. Somebody came around to everybody's desk and said, I need everything you have on this into the bucket. We're shredding it. So I believe Lucasfilm actually, they're the ones who approved the line. So I believe they and Hasbro came to an understanding, a financial understanding. I don't know what that was. But Hasbro was all gung-ho about Creo at that point. They're like, you, these sons of bitches, screw Lego. And Lego and Hasbro are like a state apart. One's in Rhode Island, one's in Connecticut. And so they're always poaching people off each other. So the sentiment at the time was that Hasbro would never work with Lego because of that. And they went in with this company, I believe it's a German company, and they went in half. They had a bunch of molds already for building blocks. And Hasbro said, hey, how about we do like a 50-50 thing? We'll take your existing inventory of molds, we'll add to it, and we'll make our own buildable blocks, our own Lego stuff that will try to compete with Lego. And they created Creo, and Creo means create. If you know your, I think it's Latin or Greek or something. Anyway, so I was on that team that first helped with the Creo, and man, the early Creo stuff was absolutely amazing. It's like they had guys like Richard Woodhouse, who's a brilliant designer, working on it. And I mean, we had a HISS tank that had like moving treads on it. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. We had that Ironhide that was like a pickup truck, but then it had like the movie arm cannons on the side of it. The one designed by Ken Christensen. We had like that in Creo. We had an awesome Sky Striker. And none of that stuff came out. All that stuff got price point down to like, here's a HISS tank with like, you just push it. There's no wheels. It's going to scratch the bricks. That's so bad. It just goes to show you that, and this was the same time where like, no female characters. So I had to fight to get that crappy deluxe Arachnia. So, goes to show you that with a change in leadership, brilliant things can happen. And I was absolutely skeptical when thing got leaked. Oh, there's a Lego Optimus coming. And I even thought about reaching out to the few people that I know that left Hasbro and went to work for Lego, including Joe Kide. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, bother talking to them. Michael Vanting is a good guy though, but I don't want to bother with Kide. Joe Kide is nice in moderation. Anyway, just like me. So here it is, Lego Optimus Prime, and it looks amazing. And I saw the picture, and I saw a picture of Joe Kide standing next to it, and I thought, man, I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for Joe Kide that he got to work on that. That he was part of the team that helped bridge that and made it happen. It bridged these two companies. That there was such great animosity between the two of them. He was part of that team, having worked for both companies, having worked for many years on Transformers. And it just warmed my heart to see that he was over there living the best life he could I think he's in Denmark, living the best life he could, having gotten to work on a beautiful, beautiful Lego set. I'm a huge Lego fan. And it just like, it was an emotional moment to see two brands that I love come together. Something I thought would never in a million years happen. And I'm just very happy for Joe. I'm very happy for the Transformers brand. And I am very nervous that Lego fans are going to make this as impossible to get as that Back to the Future set is. So
for those that don't know, you're throwing around this guy's name, Joe Kide.
Joe Kide.
What's his
Oh, so Joe
Tell
Kai
tell
was,
the story of this
all right.
person.
Joe Kai was a designer, a collector. He was a designer at Hasbro while I was there. Um, Shortly after I got let go, he got let go, and he then had an opportunity. We had another friend that was on the team who his name was Michael Vanting. He went to work for Lego. Michael was from Europe, and so he heard that a few people got let go, and he poached Joe Kide. And so Joe Kide, being let go from Hasbro, went overseas, took a plunge to leave his life in America to move overseas. And I give him credit for being brave enough to do that, and give his fiance credit for going with him. So he was a Transformer designer, worked on a lot of stuff. I would say Joe was probably the most in tune with the fandom while I was there. But much like myself, a little bit of Joe, a little bit of Rick goes a long way. So, so now he's been at Lego for a bunch of years, and I wasn't even sure if he was still there. And then it's hard for me to describe the moment when I saw the picture of Joe and that Optimus. It just made me feel so good. It made me feel like, man, we're all older, we're getting older, and we understand now that, all right, we can't have egos. We shouldn't be like, it's us versus them. We all want to make the best product possible. And this Optimus, that's an official Lego Optimus. This is a product of love, and also capitalism, but love. It really did it made me feel so good inside to know that it was not just happening, but that particular designer who also has a love for the brand itself. Because a lot of people, especially marketing people, just come on board and they're like, hey, you're assigned to Transformers. I don't know anything about Transformers. Have fun. He had a genuine love for Transformers. And he was the right guy at Lego to have a hand in this. And I'm very, very happy for him and for all of us who get to enjoy this product coming out.
Yeah, I didn't know his name prior to this, but I saw like the tweet was going around where he's like, "Hey, I did," basically saying like, "I did this. Finally, I can finally tell you guys about this. Yay!" And I was like, "Holy shit, this is crazy!" That it was actually it took someone that had worked at both companies to like make it happen, and I
help bridge that gap. Yeah,
I assume it wouldn't have otherwise.
And you know what? There's a few things I thought were for sure. A few things that in all my years of collecting Transformers, being an American otaku, that I knew were truth. One, Lego and Hasbro would never work together.
Is that the only one?
Two, there will never be as many RCs as we have in the line, to the point where we're like, God damn, can you cut the shit with the RCs? And three, that there would never be a Masterpiece Skids. But I mean, here we are. So anything is possible. Not only do I believe anything is possible within the world of Transformers, I now believe that other things are possible outside of the realm of shit. Like, I believe that one day in my lifetime, we will see an Avengers versus Justice League movie. I think it's going to happen. I think, maybe it'll be a cartoon. I don't care. But I think if there can be a Lego Optimus Prime, then one day out there in the multiverse, there will be a Justice League versus Avengers movie. I think the word I'm looking for is hope. I have hope in this world that we have so many horrible things that just beat us down in this world. And this build a brick Lego Optimus has given me the most cynical person in the world hope.
So one thing about this Lego that I think is kind of crazy too is you can actually transform it, which most of the licensed, stuff like where it's Hasbro not necessarily making it themselves, it usually does not transform. And so that's where I think
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting. I think there was like one parts forming piece on it, but for the most part, you can move. You can like once you put it together, you can convert it from the truck to the robot and back and forth. You know.
And that was a huge point of discussion when Creo was coming up. Do we have them transform? And the thought was, no, Lego guys want to take stuff and build it. And there were people in the company, myself included, Aaron included, who were saying, yeah, but Lego guys only play with Lego. They don't play with SureBlock. They don't play with, whatever, Mega Blocks, right? They only play with Lego. They don't cross the streams. So don't worry about what the Lego guys are doing. Worry about making the best product you can. And it was decided, yep, no transformation. It's take apart and rebuild.
Yeah, I can say as a as a fan of stuff in general, like that sucked. Having to Age of Extinction those into other modes.
Oh man, Creo had so many quality issues. I remember I got pissed off. I couldn't find the Creo sets at the Hasbro store. So I actually I paid full retail price for my Megatron Creo, and I got it home and I was missing a piece, like an important piece of the leg. And I couldn't have the guy stand because I was missing an important piece. So I go over to the Creo lab the next day. I'm like, hey, I'm missing a piece. I bought this thing. Do you have this piece? And it was a piece of like the tanker, which is it's not a common piece. And they're like, yeah, dig through the bucket. Found it.
Not everyone has that luxury, huh?
Right. Not everyone has that luxury. And there were other sets where pieces are missing. And usually, being a huge Lego fan, if you're not a Lego fan, you'll know why that's so frustrating, because usually with Lego, you get extra pieces. Hey, what are these parts left over? I don't know. They don't go anywhere. They're just extra parts. Okay, they gave me 2 of this. They gave me 2 of that. They gave me 3 of these. Great. Fantastic. I know it's all here. Never had a Lego set in the hundreds of sets that I've built missing a part.
Right. I mean, that's actually kind of amazing that they're able to do that, because I was thinking the same thing as like, I don't have that many Lego sets, but the ones that I've bought, like I've never had issues with missing parts.
Yeah, and I've never had a quality control issue ever with any of the capes or any of the soft goods, or the wires, strings. Never had an issue with I have a Lego set from, I want to say 88 or 89, and it still works. It still lights up. You put batteries in it, it still lights up and makes sound. I mean, the stuff was built to last. So I'm very happy to see that we are going to get a quality item. And I think it's $150 or $160.
$169.99.
That thing's going to sell out in 2 minutes or less. It's going to sell out in 2 minutes or less.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, how
the
quickly
DeLorean,
do the Lego sets sell out?
So the Lego sets sell out like in about 2 minutes or so. So the DeLorean went up. I got the alert. I put it in my shopping cart, went to pay. Gone. I've been checking it almost every single day to see if it's back up. It's going to be a few months, probably. But yeah, the DeLorean I think was $160, and
because I feel like some of the other sets, like the Voltron set, I know Anna had gotten that, and I don't think that sold out right away. So
I don't know. I've had that set for a few years now, and I still haven't opened it. I have at least, I would say, 150 sets that I haven't opened yet. I have sets that I haven't opened that they've put out new versions of those sets already that are better than the ones that I have. I just don't have time. I've got like 3 different Imperial shuttles. I've never built one.
Yeah, that's probably a you problem more than anything else.
Yeah, I get to sidetrack. The sidetrack. I'm looking on Facebook and I see pictures of people's collections, and it's all set up and it's nice, and you can see everything, and you can see all the G1 boxes, and I'm like, man, it must be nice to have a small collection like that. Where they've got like 70 G1 boxes up, and I'm like, man, it must be nice to be able to like see everything and
to have something manageable.
Yeah, and to like see it all, and here's me. I open a box up. I got 4 more G1 boxes, and I'm looking at my case. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to put them this way, so I'm just going to have to stand them up on their sides now. So
you just got to tell the wife you just need a little more space.
I got 2 new display cases this weekend. One of them's already filled.
Oh,
the other one's in the garage waiting for processing.
Yeah, I had that issue myself where, my wife pretty much was like, "Nah, you don't get any more cases. I'm sorry." So we've had.
So what happened behind you? What's going on behind you, Lisa?
Because I was gonna move, but then I decided not to. So I'm all my stuff's in storage, but my storage, Rick, is much probably smaller than your storage of like the things you don't even have put up yet.
Yeah, I still have 3 bays in the garage filled, but they're not at like the 6 to 7 foot level now. Now they're at a point where I can like see over them by just standing. So if I were to just take them and like move them over, I'd be able to fit a car in my garage. I mean, it's been almost 8 years, and I've never put a car in my garage.
One day.
Yeah, my goal by the end of this year is to fit a car in the garage. And then if I can do that, I may buy a new car. I don't know. Maybe a Zoom car, one of them fast cars. I have a car. I have a truck out back. No one's seen.
Wait, so you wouldn't let your wife park in the garage? It'd be your car in the garage?
No, I would totally tell her, oh, we're going to be able to park your car in the garage. Oh. But then I like this, she doesn't watch the show, so it doesn't matter. Like I keep looking at Corvettes, like I've been looking at Corvettes like every couple of months. I'm like, I can't afford like a Lambo or I'll never be able to afford that. So I'm like, all right, what's a nice car? Should I get the new Datsun that's coming out? I've had issues with Datsuns before. All right, what if I just buy an American car for the first time ever? I used to have a company car that was a Mustang. I'm like, oh, they're kind of small. What if I get a vet? Because I'm not going to get a Camaro because then I'll never drive it. I'll just park it in the toy room, and then.
So
yeah.
So anyway. Is this now how you know that you're officially middle-aged? Is that you're like,
yes.
I'm thinking about getting that Corvette?
Yes. Yeah. So I just turned 43. I know I look like I'm 53. And I was like, all right, well, instead of trading in my van and getting a new one, I was thinking of getting, Cybertruck. Like, Musk seems like he's kind of a batshit crazy type guy now. So I'm not going to buy a Tesla anymore. So what if I just, keep my van and get like a fast car? And
so who do you get to pick to ride in the Corvette with you? Like, do you have to like pick a favorite child or?
Well, I imagine neither one can sit in the car with me because of their height and weight.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then my wife will never drive it because it would be, a stick shift. And so
those options cost more now.
Yeah, but if you're gonna get a car, get a car. Don't get a. You're gonna get a car, that's like that. You want to get a stick shift. Anyway, Transformers, and no, I would not want it to look like Tracks.
Oh, come on. If you're going to get a Corvette, you're not going to get a blue one? Oh, geez.
No, I want a black one. I want one of the new black ones to look like a Batmobile. Yeah.
So there you go. But anyway, Lego Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
So this is it's pretty exciting.
It's happening. It's happening. It really is. Really is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, Peaceful in the chat
now
wants to know
it'll
if
be-
your second wife will end up riding in the vet.
It might be a weight and age limit too, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I got a few ideas for a second wife.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, so it'll be fun to know. This item's going to blow it out of the water. It's going to be good quality, and it's going to sell fast. So it'll be interesting to see how long it takes before there's a second version of Optimus that comes with a trailer, or whether there's another character, and if that character would be a Volkswagen Beetle.
What
Because,
if what if they just release not Optimus, just the trailer?
I don't know.
That definitely seems likely.
Anything's possible at this point. But what's not possible, Lego doesn't make vehicles of war, right? And they don't make guns, which to me is amazing that Optimus carries a blaster with him. Which I'm like, all right, well, I mean, the Star Wars guys, and they have guns. Okay, that's part of the IP. But you can't buy like a real world. You can buy like a pirate gun for Legos, but you can't buy like a Glock, right? For Legos. They don't make tanks. They don't make, weapons of war. So we'll never see a tank Megatron. We'll never see a Starscream. That's for sure.
But a gun Megatron, no. That would definitely be off the table.
Right, yeah. But like a Volkswagen Beetle, like I can definitely see that happening. Especially, since Lego does make Volkswagen products, Transformers does have that relationship with Volkswagen now, and the other one that comes to mind is maybe a Porsche.
Maybe.
And I can absolutely see Lego doing like the little head stuff, like they do with like Batman and all the Star Wars guys, where it's just the head.
Mm-hmm.
I can absolutely see them doing. Here's an Optimus head. Here's a Megatron head. Here's a Starscream head. I can definitely see them doing that.
I think it really depends on like if the sales velocity of this product is like much greater than previous things, like the Voltron, for instance, or the Ghostbusters thing. Yeah. Like they definitely keep metrics on that,
Yeah, but the Ecto One, right? The DeLorean, the Back to the Future, the Batmobiles, the $700 AT-ATs, the $700 Falcons. Those sell out instantly, and it takes months and months for those to come back into stock.
Well, the Ecto One's available right now. You can buy 3 of them at a time. It's right there. Maybe the initial one did. I mean,
right. It sells out instantly, and then it takes a few months for it to come back into stock. Right? Like you can get the Falcon now, right? You can get the $700 Falcon now. When I was ready to pull the trigger on it, I couldn't get it, and now I'm over it. I don't want it. Still want it, but I don't want it for $700. Right?
Right.
So
once it slows down enough, and they're like, okay, we're done with this. Lego makes a big deal out of like, what do they call it? Like shelving their toys, like, or they put them out of print or something.
Retiring, yeah.
They're retiring.
Yeah, they retire them.
So I mean, I see this like I have some friends that are big on Lego and they understand how that market works, and they know when the perfect. There's like rumors on when something's going to get retired, and if it goes on clearance at a store, like they know to buy that because it's just a matter of time before it becomes valuable, or a part inside of it becomes valuable, or a minifigure or something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this will be an exceptional release for Lego. I think it's gonna blow up in a way that they probably think it's gonna do well, but it might like surpass their expectations. And so this will probably. I don't know if it's going to be hard to get. It might be on day one, but like just wait till it's available again, and then at some point it'll go out of print, and then it's going to be a bloodbath for this thing.
So think it's going to be in print for about 2 years,
probably,
right? And after that, it'll be gone. But by the end of those 2 years, we'll know. I think by the end of the first year, we'll know whether we're going to get a second one.
Yeah.
I assume the second one would be Bumblebee. and then we'll know if we get minifigures. And that's the thing. Like, we now have licensed minifigures where we just do, here's a Harry Potter minifigure set. If you collect Legos at all, you know that they do blind packs of minifigures, right? And they do different assortments. They just came out with a Muppets assortment. They did an Avengers assortment.
Yeah.
They did Harry Potter. They'll do a Spider-Man assortment. They'll do an assortment where it's like one guy's a zombie, one guy's a space dude, from like different sets that are sold in conjunction with those minifigures. So will we get Transformer minifigures?
Well,
and if we do, will they transform in shitty ways like the Creo?
I almost hope they don't.
Right.
Like, it was cute that the Creos did, but I just want the little guys. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they don't need to transform.
Me too. And I think the yearbook Creos didn't transform, right? It was just the guy.
Yeah, I don't think they had all the extra crap on them. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the question with this is you know, will it be a one-off type of thing, like, you know, where you know, Voltron is limited, Ghostbusters, some of those, the DeLorean is limited, or will it be more like Star Wars or Harry Potter or Marvel or wherever, where they're just pumping out, you know, stuff constantly?
I think we won't know for, I think, another year and a half. But I don't believe this will be the only one. I don't have any inside information. I just, from being a Lego fan, a Transformers fan, and I would say having a general sense of how the market works for both brands, I would say I am like 90% positive there's going to be a Bumblebee, a Volkswagen Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I could see it.
You know what? I'll split it. It could be Volkswagen. It could be a Camaro.
Well, I mean, that's the thing I'm curious about too. Obviously, we have the, you know, the movie coming out next year. Is that, you know, could you see it where they may, you know, do some movie figures?
The license stuff is weird because, I mean, with Ghostbusters, I think they could have done a lot more sets, right? They did it. They did the tower. They did the firehouse. They did the Ecto one for the girls movie and the original Ghostbusters. They did the new Ecto one, which is like a deluxe premium collector's item. But they could have done a lot more, Ghostbuster sets. They could have done a lot of different price points, and they didn't do that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Transformers. If it'll be like a Harry Potter, Star Wars type situation,
Right.
Marvel situation, where those three brands exist across all the different price points, from introductory to kid level, starting out Lego, to adult collector.
Well, I think the difference too is like the, you know, Ghostbusters and Back to the Future, like those are mainly adult, you know, like old guy brands, or old, you know, people that are or more middle aged. Whereas some of the other ones you talk about, like there's a lot of kids that, you know, obviously kids love, you know, Harry Potter and Star Wars, and it's more in the consciousness. And I think that like Transformers is obviously at that point, you know, as well. Like, you know, we haven't had movies for a little while, for a few years, but for the most part, you know, it kind of reaches across the spectrum of fans, not necessarily that it's, you know, just older fans.
I think most kids in first world nations know about Transformers.
Right.
Right. So it'll be really curious to see how far this goes. I would love there to be different, you know, here's a Key to Vector Sigma set. Here, you know, here's the Arc set. Here's the Nemesis. Right? Or they just give us, hey, here's the head of Optimus, here's the head of Megatron, you mount them on a little display stand.
Right.
Boom, there you go. Hey, here's a Matrix of Leadership. Done. Or, you know, 2 years down the road, here's movie Optimus in Lego form. Based off the hit movie Rise of the Beasts, which is any movie that has the name Rise of in its title, is just awful. Name one movie with Rise of in the title that was good. I dare you. I dare you.
Difficult.
Well, I mean, I was thinking otherwise that this movie was going to potentially be up for the Oscars, but you know.
I'm actually kind of. I mean, I think it's the right decision to do G1 Optimus, but the original rumors were that it was the movie one, and I think this was the right choice. But I also wouldn't have been surprised if it had been the Bayverse Optimus. I mean, let's be honest. At this point, like, they're so disparate from each other, and they have such different fan bases that it's hard to quantify which one is more iconic at this point. Except G1 Optimus has existed, twice as long. So,
but you know what? Okay, we do Bayverse Optimus as Lego. Can that realistically transform?
Yeah, that's probably a good point, because how could it? It probably takes 10 more years of doing this a few times before, like, the brick artists are like now have this secondary skill in their pocket of, like, making this stuff transform.
Right, like it would. You can make an Optimus that looks like that's inspired by the movie, but it's not going to look like the movie and transform. Yeah. I would love to see a Lego Optimus inspired by the movie, even if it didn't transform. Even if there was, like, here's a second set of instructions to make it into vehicle mode. Even if that didn't, doesn't even have to come with that for me. I just want a baller-looking Lego Optimus that I get to build. This one, you get both. You get a really good G1-looking Optimus that happens to transform. And it's Lego.
But it doesn't have knees. That's the only drawback I will
of G1,
speak of.
In the tradition of G1, it has no knees. Oh no.
Well, the original one had knees.
He was one of two Transformers that had knees. The other being Soundwave, and his knees worked the other way.
Whatever. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying, like, it's a bummer. The little animation shows it with knees, and the thing doesn't have knees. Like, that's
you'll be able to hack that very easily with existing Lego bricks to give it knees.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's got to be a reason why they didn't do it. So.
Yes, it is a little curious that it doesn't have knees, but yeah, I'm already thinking of what parts I want to use to give it knees.
So weird thing, like, this might open a new kind of door for Lego in the sense that I don't think they've ever done, like, repaints, like the way that we might be used to in Transformers, but, like, the easiest thing here is just there you make your Nemesis Prime, to go head to head with this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. The only repaints I can ever think of are Star Wars, with the different specifically the Revenge of the Sith Jedi fighters.
Yeah.
Making one for green and red and blue, and the minifigures get repainted all the time. But yeah, it would be a no-brainer for them to do a Nemesis Prime.
I could see them do that before a Bumblebee. I hope they do the Bumblebee first.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'll agree with you.
It just kind of fits, like, the historical model of, like, MP2 being Ultra Magnus, which was kind of bullshit, but we were still jizzing everywhere when that happened. Yeah. So, like, like,
Nemesis Prime wasn't as prevalent back then.
No. And I mean, it made sense to make the magnet, because that was like a total, like, the Dreamwave thing was going on at that time. It was the right move at the time. Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if this is one and done, but I think the reaction is going to be pretty huge for this. Like, it's a big deal when, like, people that are outside of your Transformer circle are like, "Did you see the Optimus Prime?" You're like, "Oh my god, dude, I saw that like 3 days ago. Like, where have you been?" And they're like, your PTA friend or something, like someone that you just do not want in the circle, but they're just trying to burst in and they just like want to be cool and tell you something that they think you don't know, but they have no idea like how much you know about what they don't know. Like that was on fire with this announcement. For me, at least.
Do you think that this was bigger than like the RoboSyn Optimus Prime?
I don't. Good question. I think it's like on par with as far as bringing in. I think it may be bigger because like the love for Lego is like it transcends fandom in a way.
Yeah,
I feel like I know more. It is childhood. I feel like I know more people that are into Lego than people that are into like toy collecting. Like if that makes sense. Like of the like people outside. Yeah, people outside. But like I feel like just like the other parents of my kid, like whatever the kids at my kid's school. Like a lot of them, group. If they're into something, the PTA group or whatever, if they're into anything, they're into Lego.
Well, I mean, you saw the photos that came along with this, like the dude all dressed up, just in his weird IKEA room. In the middle of the room, he's got his Lego Optimus. He's just like, oh, I just made this. Yeah, I'm gonna go hit the gym after this, I guess. Like that's who they're going for. Normal people. I'm not used to that.
Lego is more accepted as art than any action figure will be, regardless of the price point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was, looking back on it, I will say there's precedence for crossing streams. There is one brand in Hasbro that has always had autonomy to seek out licenses from any company. Do you guys know which one it is?
Play-Doh?
No.
I don't know.
Potato Head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Potato Head. Potato Head can go where no one could go before. They could have the Batman Potato Head and have a Spider-Man Potato Head, right? So they were always treated a little differently in that, and they had autonomy to seek out whatever they wanted to do.
Why was that?
I don't know. Maybe because Potato Head wasn't as, I don't want to say it wasn't as relevant. Potato Head has become more of like I think they're trying to become more event-based. Like, here's a Star Wars Potato Head, right? Here's the Kylo Ren. Here's the Darth Vader. Here's the Harry Potter. Here's the Batman. Here's the Superman one. Here's the Optimus. Here's the Bumblebee. So trying to make little events out of the brand, hoping that it leads to something else. I don't know the world of Potato Head that much, but I know when I was there, I'm like, why don't you bring back the little Potato Kid kids? Like those little, remember the TV show, Potato Head? Anyone remember the Potato Head cartoon show where they had the little tater tot guys? I don't know. They were like the McNuggets, but they were potatoes. I didn't dream that up. That happened. This is not the Mandela effect.
I believe you.
Oh, Josh in the chat brought up, what about Monopoly? Like, I'm sure some of the other board games are similar to that too, where they have other licenses.
Yeah, Monopoly. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Monopoly. Monopoly could go out and do Star Trek, and even though Hasbro doesn't have the license right now for Star Trek, they can go do Star Trek, and they can do a bunch of Disney stuff and sports stuff, and yeah, very good point. Very, very good point. I think some of the other board games too, like Risk and.
I was gonna say, I think probably potentially the difference with some of those is that the product is not directly competing as much with, like say Lego and Hasbro toys, like they're aimed at similar demographics, right? Whereas like Monopoly is, it's its own thing, or Potato Head, like
right.
It's typically aimed at like younger kids. You don't have to worry as much about
right. And there is no buildable Hasbro footprint in stores anywhere. Right. So this gets the Hasbro IP into that Lego aisle. which is so big and so powerful that in most box retail stores, go look at the Lego aisle. What will you not find in the Lego aisle? Won't find Mega Blocks. Won't find Sure Blocks. You won't find Sherlock. Lego doesn't allow retailers to put those in the same aisle. You have to go to the next aisle to find them in most cases. That's how powerful Lego is. They don't want you to know that those things exist because it's pride that, not so much capitalism, it really is pride. Like, they don't compete with how good our product is. We don't want their stuff next to ours. So this whole crossing the streams thing reminds me of Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I haven't seen it yet, but there's a couple of crazy cameos. It's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit scenario where Disney and Warner Brothers are coming together, where like everybody's coming together to be in Chippendale Rescue Rangers, now streaming on Disney Plus. There's a few cameos that listeners to this podcast will enjoy. I'm sure you've seen the pictures on Twitter and everything.
Yeah. Wasn't planning on watching it, that's for sure.
Yeah, but now I have to.
Not so much.
Just, yeah. But I mean,
wanting to, but my kids have been like doing recital stuff this weekend. So I'm like, all right. Yeah. They're not gonna give a shit. But I feel like weird, like watching that kids movie by myself.
I'm surprised that your kids don't want to watch it. Usually, my kids, anything new on Disney Plus, they're all about it.
It's. I haven't approached them with it yet because I know they're going to want to see it. But every time we have time, it's like, all right, it's like half hour to bedtime. Let's just watch a quick episode of Is It Cake or Victorious or something. That's what my girls are into right now. Is It Cake? Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what have we come to as a society?
We need an Optimus cake.
Yeah, there you go.
What have we come to as a society?
Isn't there like some transforming Optimus cakes too? Like, I think I've seen people do that in the past.
People have made cakes where the cab stands up and stuff. Amazing cakes. Everyone should go check their local supermarket, and they usually have a book out there that you can flip through to get cakes. And it's like, oh, here's a My Little Pony cake. They will half the time either sell you or just give you the decorations. Like, I remember walking into the supermarket, it's called Big Y in my area, and looking through the book that they had at the bakery, Transformers. This was an RID one. And I'm like, hey, can I just buy like the decorations? Like, I understand even if I have to buy the whole cake, just give me the decorations. They're like, hang on. They rummage through the box. Here you go. Just take it. And so I pulled that scam at like I'm not telling you to scam anyone. I'm just saying that go look at the bakery. Sometimes Transformers pop up places you don't expect.
I mean, I will say, Rick, that I would say that the majority of our viewers, I can't necessarily say ours, but like, say most people are not into collecting licensed Transformers merchandise. It's not Transformers. I know that you are, and Peter, and like Nick, and some of the others, but I think that the fandom at large probably does not have a truckload of that stuff.
Like, I can't find it right now, but one of those things, like, Peter and I one day got into it, and we were like, do you have the cupcake wrapping paper? Yes, Rick, I do. And then I pulled out randomly another one. I'm like, do you have the Transformers branded frosting? Like, oh. Yeah, what about Transformers branded Energizer batteries? There's a variant. There's a Decepticon version too. Yep.
But those are the types of things, when I'm at the store.
Projector. Also, a tip: go to like Party City, and there's a whole section of Transformer stuff. And I just like grab one of each, and it's real expensive to do. But you can find cool stuff. Like you can find like a metal bucket.
When you get Rick for Secret Santa, and you can just go to Party City or whatever and buy like $10 and stuff, and then he's elated.
Isn't that what you did one day? Like
Yeah.
you went to like the dollar store and just got me like a ton of stuff I needed.
I 100% did. Yes, like that was it, because otherwise, what do I get you that you don't have, right? Whereas like if it's a bunch of like junk at the dollar store, like I'm like, odds are you may not have that.
How about the Bye Bye Boo Boo Transformers Ice Pack? Bye Bye Boo Boo Optimus Prime Cold Pack.
That actually is kind of cool. I wouldn't mind having one. This
is a real thing.
My kid.
Cold pack instructions included.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, now you know how to make things cold. Or fillable eggs, not to be used internally.
So, like this Lego Optimus is right up your alley with all this weird non-plastic action figure stuff. It's kind of tertiary. I'd say I would say if you're like a purist of, transforming toys, you don't necessarily need this. Like people that hate non-transforming toys, I wouldn't say they need this, even though it does sort of transform. It's pretty rudimentary, but it does look. Hey, one thing, the grill is the grill, and I like that. That is awesome.
Yes.
Like, why do
you
we
have
still
to flip it around or something, or was it the waist plate? I thought there was something that you had to flip.
No, I'm just saying the grill stays the grill. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, the grill stays the grill.
I mean, I think it looks really, really nice. I mean, it is a nice, like, again, obviously it's very expensive, but it is
probably going to be heavy.
Nice, yeah, well, and it's really big too. I think what's the size on that?
It's bigger than MP1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's at least 12 inches plus.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
So the thing about this that Paul you brought up, this is something that will appeal to like people who only collect the toys. They'll go out and get this.
Yeah, I was kind of like vouching for the other side. Like you don't need this, but like there's a lot of flexibility here.
Right.
Like
yeah. And then not only will Transformers fans want this, man, you're gonna have all the Lego guys who there's Lego guys who like some people only collect Masterpiece Transformers. There are Lego guys who only collect the high end collectible hard to find Lego sets. So that's it's gonna definitely sell out the first round, but it's not gonna be like they're not gonna be like no more. They're gonna be like, hey, let's print some more money. Right.
So
it's
for
not
the
gonna
Lego
be
stuff, like, is there like a first printing like type of thing?
Yeah.
So then people collect.
They don't. As far as I know, and I don't go that deep into Lego like this. Like I very rarely get a set the day it comes out. I don't know if there's any differentiation on the boxes between first print and second print. Right?
It might be just like a date stamp, kind of like.
Might be like the UPC code or something.
That'd be pretty major if it was a different UPC, but
I don't know.
But whatever, there's maybe some type of writing or whatever. Like that's what I'm kind of curious, because like those are the types of things that we would all immediately know, or maybe not me, but you two would know, where you're like, oh, well, obviously that like the first run it has the box with the plastic flap, and the other one has the paper flap, and it's.
But Lucas, you peon, like don't you know?
Stuff like that's a variation. Stuff where it's like, embossed on here, like 212956789, right? And then the next one that comes out a few months later is like 789254388.
Yeah.
Like I don't consider that a variation. That's just production. It's just a different lot.
Well, that stuff only matters when there's like a mistake or something in the lot. Right. Then it's like, oh, I have the fixed knees version. It has 12587.
That's a variant, right? That to me matters.
Then usually it doesn't matter, but like that's like your last ditch effort for identifying, kind of strange oddities that somehow end up mattering,
Well, I didn't know because I know with like books, obviously, it's like if you get the first print or whatever versus
Yeah.
like later runs. So that's why I didn't know if like Lego, since this is probably going to sell out, is that something where Lego fans are looking for an initial like printing versus like
It
ones that are later?
it's my understanding that it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
what before it's retired, it's all this. It's essentially all the same release.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Unless there's some sort of running change, like, after the second run, they're like, oh shit, let's change this piece, but
I've
they don't. I don't
never
think they do
seen
that
that
often.
in a Lego set.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a Lego set. It could absolutely exist. I don't go that deep into it, but I've never seen or heard of that. They make a consistent, high quality product.
Yeah, as long as someone in the decal department doesn't write Cybertronian MAGA on it somewhere, I think we're probably safe.
I can't believe that
the
thing
people at
exists.
Lego probably would catch that before it got out. So
It probably would.
Yeah, not a lot of MAGA people over there in Denmark though. So
I know a few people that work there. They're pretty legit. They're on the creative side, not Joe Tide level, obviously.
yeah, but then then there's Lego is right down the street from they're like 30 minutes away from me. The U.S. headquarters over here in Connecticut. So I know a few people who work there, but they don't handle the creative stuff like that.
Then why know them? I mean, come on.
Yeah, you know what? F them.
Let's go in there. Never mind.
Speaking of F them, I noticed today for the first time that when a kid swears, it's really funny. But when a kid fake swears, it's even funnier. So this morning, my kid says, "Give me my phone back, you effing B." She said it just like that. You effing B. She didn't actually curse, but that's in her mind. That's the right way to curse. And I just found it so funny that I just couldn't stop laughing. And she's like, "Stop laughing at me.
I am mad. My feelings matter."
I'm like, "Oh, it's so funny. That's so funny. You effing B."
I am so far from that, but I look forward to it.
Oh, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. I have a 10-year-old going on 16. It's just terrible. Just awful.
the fun times. So yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments from the world of online?
We haven't had any others. So Ron earlier said that he thinks that this is bigger than Robosyn. That Robosyn was niche. I mean, I do think that it did get some definite press. Back in the day. Like when it first came out, like I think that the fact that it was a robot, and I know a lot of media outlets online, the Gizmodos, the CNETs, like those types of ones would carry this kind of stuff that where they may not normally carry the news about Transformers. So I mean that's where I kind of felt like, and obviously Jay and Silent Bob were the ones like introducing it too. So
it's different. They had to. The Robosyn was a brand new product. It was almost like a new vertical they had to create. So they had to promote that. They had to spend some money, and they did, and it worked. I mean, it definitely worked for the Robosyn. This, they didn't really have to do much. All they had to do was say, "Look, look it,"
Right.
They made a really nice video, and like all they had to do was make Lego.com/Optimus. That was all it took.
Right.
They didn't got to do anything else. That's. So in that sense, I would say this probably is bigger, but they're not too far apart. Like they were both events in Transformer Land. Like Transformers was different after both things were revealed. Like Rick's saying, the landscape changed.
Yeah.
Something that was impossible before is now possible, and I feel the same way about the Robosyn. Like. It was the inevitable conclusion of Well, it was the beginning of the inevitable conclusion of Transformers, which is making them real.
So I didn't know anything about Robitussin before that line came out, or that figure came out. So I didn't realize at the time, like, that there was this big following of it.
Well, ever since the video, ever since the meme videos showed up, like 5-6 years ago, and then there was that Facebook scam going around for a good few months that like lots of people got took on, where they showed the video and said, like, you can buy this for $25. Like, what? Remember that? We had a discussion about that, Rick. You're like, I don't know, might be real. Like, no. And then when it came out, I mean, there was stuff to follow because it was called Sen Power originally. So like robotics people and like some Transformers fans, dug around enough to find the Chinese websites where some of that stuff was posted, but it was still like you had to be really into shit to know that much. And they still have a Hound, a Scrapper, and a Rodimus in the hopper, like well before the word Robosen ever existed, where they built the thing. So I think the Robosen line will continue because they have stuff ready to go already.
Did they have that trailer ready to go, and then it just got priced out, and then they're like, hey, we can finally make the trailer?
I have a feeling that the trailer was like a post-collaboration effort, is my guess.
Like re-release. Yeah, I feel bad for all the people who like, hey, I missed out on the Robitussin Prime, now I got to pay like $1,000 for it. And then here comes Hasbro, which was me, right? I'm like, I just, I was in the middle of buying the store, and I'm like, I just can't do it right now. So I'm going to skip it. It also looks awful. It looks boring. So I skipped it.
It'll get better, I think.
And then it, here's Hasbro, a year later going, hey, you can buy a trailer. And by the way, here's some more of the Optimus. I'm like, I guess I'll get the Optimus now. And I'm glad I got it. It's a lot more fun and way cooler than I thought it was. I still can't figure out where the plug goes to charge it because it's not in the instructions.
I don't remember that being hard to find.
And I'm like looking, spreading the legs. I'm like looking under the armpits. I'm like, where the hell do I plug it in to charge it?
You can charge it in robot or in truck mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't figure out how. I don't know where it plugs in.
I'd have to open mine up.
None of the videos online show you where to plug it in.
If it wasn't such a hassle to take that thing out of the box, I would help you out, but I'm tired. Sorry, buddy. Next time.
After all the thing I bought from you.
One day. So
one day, yeah, it's sitting. I took it out for cut the tape, put it back in the box, and there it will stay for another 10 years.
The real bummer about that thing is you can't display it. You know what I mean? Because it has to be, it can't stand on its own because it's all like electrically,
so
powered.
Hydraulics and stuff.
So it just goes like someone has to make a stand for it that actually
it will look cool when you have that 3-foot trailer next to it. Like that's really why I want the trailer. I want a 3.5 foot long Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
But $750 for a trailer. It's just like, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty painful. I mean, the Lego Optimus is probably a lot more fun for a lot less money, depending on what you're into.
Yeah, but now that I have the Optimus, I need to go get that stupid trailer. They got me. They effing got me. Those
this is how they get us.
Those effing bees got me.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, yeah. I guess that's it then. So.
Thanks for coming to another riveting discussion on TFYLP.
Yes, sure. Yes. This wonderful discussions we have here.
Like and subscribe.
Visit our Patreon and our OnlyFans.
Play with Unicrons.
We don't have an
Rick's
OnlyFans, by the way, just FYI. So
who am I sending those pictures to?
Book club.
Wait, you mean I'm the only one making money? What? I thought we were sharing that.
book club this week is going to be Revolutionaries 5 through 8. So check that out. That is Sunday night on the TF Talk Discord at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central.
Man, they are really going deep.
Yeah, getting through it. It's been a long time coming.
They should do the Dreamwave stuff.
Oh, there you go.
That would be something else.
Don't get them sidetracked. They're finally in the Lost Light and all that. So
go read War Within. You know, like
ooh, that is good.
See where we started.
Standing. So I finally talked to the guys behind it, and I'm like, hey, so where does this fit in? Is this like the original IDW continuity or the new crappy one? They're like, it's ambiguous on purpose. So it's any continuity that you want to be in.
Do you like it?
I recommend go reading Last Spot Standing. If you've read the original IDW run, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
I haven't read the new one because it sucks.
I think I
tried.
It's supposed to be kind of like, the end of, it's supposed to be like the last story in IDW, whether, because they're losing the license.
Right.
So it's just, it can be the end to whichever world you prefer.
Right.
Yeah. I still haven't picked it up. I had to go to the comic shop and see if they still have it. So we'll see. Otherwise, if not, I'm sure I can pick up the trade paperback when it comes out. If it comes out, I guess. So.
Risky. Snoozing.
Buy it on digital.
Sounds like old Lucas is taking a nap.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Thanks to everyone in the chat tonight. Thanks to Ron, Catherine, Zaldron. Thanks to Josh. Thanks to Peacemo. Yeah. So, thank you guys, and we will see you next week.